31-22, and they trail 60-56. Grant and Ryan, Jerry Reynolds in a moment. Jeremy Grant leading all scorers with 18. They're going to have to get an answer for him. Meanwhile, for Sacramento, Rhino, Sabonis started off well. And again, I can't fault him. He had 15 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds. I don't know how much longer you can keep Keegan Murray out on the floor. I'm sorry. I just don't. He's really hurting the Kings. 2 of 13, 1 of 5 from 3. And it may be time to just have him watch the game for a while.
Yeah, you might have to sit him out for a second, and especially Mike Brown. He's not hesitating to sit other guys out, as we saw in the first half. So maybe that's the thing to do, Grant. I'd love to get Jerry's take on that when he joins us in a minute.
Yeah, 60-56. And speaking of Jerry Reynolds, he is joining us right now here at the half. Jerry, good to have you with us here. We were just talking about Keegan Murray and how much longer can Mike Brown afford to keep him on the floor. I mean, he's really hurting the team right now.
Yeah, he really is. I mean, he's had pretty good shots, but he just simply can't even finish. And so, that's been the real kind of down spot, I think, because they've gotten some offense has been pretty good, other than little carelessness with the ball, I thought, and of course Monk missing free throws, which he never does. But Keegan, as you said, I mean that's got to get going or kind of move on. I thought Mike Brown using Ellis there as a starter helped the team, and it helped Davion, because Davion was pretty good, and Domantas Sabonis. I mean, I thought he had a terrific half, and Alex Lynn in a limited role was very good. So the offense has been overall, with the exception of Keegan, has been pretty good. It's defense.
Tough to win games when you're allowing 60 or more points every half. I don't care who's on the floor offensively. That's not going to get it done.
No, it's not, and that's the problem. I mean, the offense looks more like Kings' offense, but defensively, I mean, Portland is generally. I mean, they got some good young players, and of course, Jeremy Grant is a bucket, always has been. But they got to get better. They got to do better defensively.
Ryan, Jerry, no Sasha Vezenkov either in that first half.
Yeah, no Sasha, but it worked out, Grant. I mean, I think Alex Len really picked the team up, as Jerry said, in the limited role, and I like that Kessler Edwards got in there as well. So the fact that Sasha hadn't been contributing much, I think this was a good time to kind of test the lineups, as we've mentioned.
Yeah, I got to mention, too, one thing. The Houston Rockets just beat the crap out of the Lakers tonight.
Yep, we talked about that.
So I think there's something going on down there, but doesn't mean anything tonight. The Kings' offense looks better, but defensively not one bit better.
Yeah, 60-56, a big second quarter for the Blazers. Jeremy Grant, I've always liked him, 18 points, and he has excelled, 6 of 9, made all threes. But again, the reality is, and I mentioned this, I want to say I mentioned this with about 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. I said to Ryan, I go, the team that plays, defense first will probably win this game. And I haven't seen defense played at all in this first half. And I'm going to say the same thing. The team that can get a 3 to 5 minute stretch of very good defense will probably end up winning this game.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think that if you're Mike Brown, that's exactly what you're saying, or Chauncey Billups. Same thing. They're saying, hey, whoever puts together a few stops in each quarter will win the game, and might even have a comfortable win if you start getting some stops.
For those that are joining us, Ryan and I are going to be on in the second half on Pro Sports Fans. You can download the app to your phone. It's very simple. Takes a second to sign up. Doesn't cost you anything. You just need a username and a password, and then you can join us on the watch party and chat along with us live while we watch the game. 60-56, and for Sacramento, you had 2 players in double figures. Davion Mitchell, Jerry, looked very comfortable coming off the bench.
Yeah, he sure did. I think that probably is his spot, to go in there. You can put him on different guys defensively, and, if he gets some open shots, I do think his shot looks better. And so that's been good. I think, and, Ellis proves he belongs playing some minutes. Obviously when Fox comes back, that's going to affect the rotation, as it should.
What do you think for the second half, Rhino? What do you want to see?
I think it's Harrison Barnes. If Keegan Murray is not going to be able to get his shot going, you got to have more than 3 points from Harrison Barnes. You guys mentioned the defense. That needs to pick up. And then I'm also looking at Portland and the 3-ball. This is the third game in a row that we're seeing teams shooting the 40 and 50th percentile from behind the arc.
Yeah.
That's a good point, too. And I mean, I think with Portland, it's not like they have an inside game. So you can go out and really pressure the ball out there and drive guys off the line. I always say you don't really want to try to block shots. That's always a foul in this league. But you can drive them off the line. And the Kings haven't done a very good job of that.
Jerry, when you were on with us this afternoon at 4:00, we talked about Harrison Barnes, and I said, other than game one, he's been invisible. Honestly, I don't even remember Harrison Barnes being on the floor in this first half. He played 15 minutes, but he did nothing. He made one shot. He had 2 rebounds. He had no assist. He didn't do anything in 15 minutes. I mean, that you can't have that from your starting forward in the NBA. You can't have it. It's not acceptable.
No, you've got to get production from that spot. I mean, you really need 14, 15 points a game, 7, 8 rebounds. I mean, that's kind of a given there. And obviously you'd like to have more some nights, but that's, I'll be honest. I just think Trey Lyles is going to play himself into a spot by not playing.
He's going to play him in. He's going to play himself into a spot by not playing.
he looks better every game he doesn't play, doesn't he?
Oh my God, I'm going to remember that. He is going to play himself into a spot by not playing. You don't get that. You don't get that everywhere else, folks. You only get that here.
You don't. This is. But I mean, it's kind of true, and that's sometimes. I mean, but Harrison has got to do more. You've got to make an adjustment as well as Keegan. I mean, you got your 2 forwards that just haven't been effective at all.
Well, Jerry, you were wrong. At halftime, you said you were going to be coming on and that you had the Kings up by 18 or something at the half. So, that could still happen, but it won't happen until after the game.
No, I sure was. And I thought, kind of midway through the first quarter, I thought I was going to be able to come in and chirp like a bird, and tell you guys how smart I am. And now I got to kind of eat it, don't I?
All right, Jerry, I got a question for you because on the 4:00 show, Nate's talked about how he'd sometimes throw you under the bus with the live read. So how many times or what did you do to get it Grant on the air?
I was kind of afraid to go at him because, he's the play-by-play. So, it's one of those things that you mess with a truck, you'll get dumped every time.
I also had another platform every day for 4 hours, okay, where, if Jerry tried to get at me during the game, I was going to be on the air the next day at 3:00 for 4 hours, okay, and I could really come out of him too, so, Jerry's been around the block a couple times, as he said before. He understands, right? Be careful who you poke at.
Hey, yeah. I mean, it's one of those things I've always said. It's kind of like a Clint Eastwood movie. Man's got to know his limitations, right?
Oh my God! Yeah, we had some fun times. Listen, when your team's only winning between 20 and 30 games every year, you got to figure out a way to make a 2.5-hour telecast somewhat interesting. And as Jerry said, it must have been maybe 2016, 17, 18 in the last week or two of the season. We're in San Antonio and we're sitting on the bench waiting to do our open. It's probably 25 minutes before the game. And we're talking about the game. He goes, "You know what the most important part of our job is, right?" I go, "No, what's that?" He goes, "To convince people they're not seeing what they're actually seeing." And I'm like, I literally had trouble making it on for the 6:45 rehearsal because I literally was crying down my face. I go, yeah. Jerry's big mantra was, our team is so bad, we have to convince people that they're not seeing what they're actually seeing.
And I always thought too, I mean, we had to convince ourselves,
Yeah.
I mean, and sometimes it was pretty hard, but to find something that was fun, you'd always could find maybe one or two players that were having good games. But yeah, tough times, Rhino. Tough times, buddy.
I love it.
Hey, I'm just grateful that me and Jerry didn't get paid only for the wins that we did, because we probably would have been on food stamps.
Oh, that'd been yeah, it would have been very difficult. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, thank goodness. But you know, I mean, you got to take the good with the bad. We just had to take a lot more bad.
Right.
Hey, the per diem was worth it, right?
Oh,
Oh,
boy.
it sure was. That's the main thing I miss is that per diem envelope. You know, I was
boy.
going to say that Mrs. Reynolds, I haven't told her, but that's how she got her Christmas gifts for years.
Hey, I think Jerry's the only one on the airplane that after a road trip still had the envelope, still with the same amount of money pretty much as when he boarded the plane. Jerry did not spend a lot of money on the road unless he forgot his dress pants, and then he would spend his per diem. But other than that, no, he didn't spend
Other
his
than
per
that,
diem.
I didn't spend a lot, but I'll tell you, the champion of all time was Gary St. Jean. I think he's probably got every envelope he ever got, still full.
Not only that, Saint would clear the plane of the cookies. He would have the flight attendant.
Good
Literally,
man.
you know this, Jerry. I would like, Saint, what are you doing? He's like, well, I get them for free. I'm taking them with me to the room. He'd walk off the plane with like 50 cookies. Right, Jerry?
Absolutely. Yeah. Saint, I mean, he didn't miss a beat, you know,
No.
just terrific guy. But,
Oh,
you know,
boy.
like I say, I was frugal and he made me seem like a spendthrift.
Yeah, it sounds like the flight attendants probably didn't like him too much.
Well, they knew the game, you know, they understood, you know.
Yeah. All right, Jerry, we appreciate you joining us here. And thanks very much for all your work today, and a lot of fun at 4:00 and then here. And we'll see what happens in the second half. Kings got some work to do. They're going to have to figure this out, down 60-56. Thanks very much.
Thank you guys. And I hope you have a nice post game. I'm really pulling for you.
Thanks,
Thanks,
buddy.
Jerry.
See a classic or what?
Gonna play himself into a role without playing. The great thing, Grant, is after all these years, he just comes up with new things. Everybody's saying Jerryism. It's great.
All right, what do you think the final is? Jay's got the Kings winning 120-116. And De'Aaron Fox always making it, if not two, at least 15 players to his back. So that gives the Kings all the court plays. Serbia checking in, and the end of that message. So I don't disagree with that. You know, now it's clear as never before. Pretty much true. You know, pretty much true.
Absolutely. I don't agree with Jay. I don't think the Kings are getting in the 120s. I think this is going to be probably a 117, 118 to 116 game with the Trailblazers winning.
I got the score 114-112.
All right. We're in the same neighborhood. You got Kings or Trailblazers?
Yeah, I'm going to think the Kings are going to figure out a way to win this game.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right. Hey, let's get back on Pro Sports Fans app. Join us, everyone. Just go to PSF, download it on your phone. We're going to be on there in just a few minutes for the second half. Thank you very much, Rhino. We'll talk to you in a minute.
Sounds good, Napes.
All right, good stuff from there. And we really appreciate everybody joining us right here. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a thumbs up. If you have not yet subscribed, hit the subscribe button. It means a lot to us. And thank you. And we're going to be back here in about 1 hour for the post-game show.